Brandon Boner for Live on Focus at the Marshfield Police Department on this beautiful June day. We got some great news, so stay tuned. I'm here with Kristen Niehaus, who organizes and runs the Salute a Soldier run that just took place here in Marshfield. Kristen, first off, tell me a little background on the run.
Well, basically, the run is in honor of my brother Joe, who was killed in action on December 25th, 2011 in Afghanistan as a senior line medic. We just kind of decided as a family that we needed to do something to honor his memory, and what better way to do that than have a run and raise money for our community and things that we kind of need around here. So that's kind of how we got started, and we've just been doing it ever since. This was our 6th year.
All right, we're going to learn about this year's run and the great idea that they had to raise some money for the Marshfield PD, so stay with us. So Kristen, you've been doing this for a couple years now, and every year you've kind of had a campaign or a purpose with the run. This year we understand that you had a purpose of raising some money for the Marshfield Police Department. Tell me how that idea came to full swing.
Well, last year we kind of partnered with the Marshfield Fire Department to get them their Stop the Bleed kits. They were kind of falling short on their fundraising, so we stepped up and got them to where they needed to be, which was wonderful. So the beginning of this year, I just double-checked with Chief Gramsa to see, is there anything that the police department needed? Is there anything that we could help with or maybe partner with? And he had kind of tossed around the idea of a drone. I guess they had been talking about it for some time, and we thought, well, what better way to support our community than to help them get a drone? So we decided that was going to be it, and we went for it.
So this run this year, at the end of the conclusion of the run, how many funds did you raise for that drone?
This year was one of our slower years, mostly because Mother Nature was not at all cooperative. But we were able to present Rick and the guys with a $8,500 check for the drone. So we had some really amazing sponsorship and donations this year. Participants were still great, even though it was like 33 degrees out. But it was still amazing. So our goal was 10,000, but we got really close.
Yeah, and we originally talked to Rick myself here, and we talked to him on Focus not too long ago about the drone. The original idea was to raise $6,500, so we exceeded that goal with the run. But more importantly, after the run was finished, there was a lot of buzz in the community about more opportunities. How did that come around?
When I came in on Wednesday and we donated, or we had given Rick the check for the drone, and like I said, we were really hoping for 10,000, but 85 was going to get us what we needed. They posted the picture of us, with the check, and buzz just kind of started happening. We had one gentleman who really stepped up and started making some phone calls, and was like, hey, why can't we get them to where they need to be? So we're very excited to be here today to accept the rest of the funds.
And we're going to learn about those funds in a minute and what that number is, but we're going to speak to those individuals that were involved in creating that buzz here, so stay with us. As we look for coverage that matters most to you, we look for individuals in our community that are making a true difference. And I'm here with two individuals that are definitely example of that. I'm here with Mike and Randy. Randy, tell me about, and Mike, do the same. Tell me what kind of went through your head and why you wanted to get involved with this drone apparatus and trying to raise some funds for the Marshfield Police Department.
Well, when I seen the post that was posted on the Marshfield PD Facebook page, and Kristen had donated the money, I was kind of curious as to if they got enough funds, if they didn't. She reached out to me, and then also I believe the chief reached out to me and said they were about $1,500 short. So at that point, I reached out to Mike here, and I says, hey, bud, and I said, I want a challenge here. I want a $100 challenge from small businesses. We can pick this slack up. And Mike said, well, let me look into it a little bit. So he did. He got back hold of me. He said, count Merit Electric in. I'm in 100%. And I said, well, will you give me a hand with this? And he says, absolutely. So within a matter of hours, just talking around the community and that, people really stepped up. And 48 hours later, here we're standing here, and pretty proud of the small businesses and that will step up to the plate and take care of this.
So, Mike, he mentioned a 48-hour challenge. What did that challenge entail?
Just a few phone calls. Actually, every single person I contacted was more than willing to donate to it, and just went and picked up the checks, and we're here today to hand them over and complete their mission.
Well, thanks, guys, for being a part of this. Continue to stay tuned. I know we're just drawing off so long as we can here. We're going to see the Assistant Chief of Police, Zeps, out here in a few minutes, and we're going to present this check, and you're going to learn what the total amount is that's going to the Marshfield Police Department towards this drone apparatus. So here's some great aerial coverage of our Wenzel Family Plaza. It was a great sunny day here in Marshfield, and the families are definitely enjoying that. As we continue to believe in our community, this is a prime example of another story, another light, another opportunity, no different than the one we're talking about today. So stay tuned. Brandon Boniford back on focus, and as promised, we have Marshfield's finest here with us, and we are about to present a check that'll hopefully get them to their benchmark of getting a drone apparatus here in the community of Marshfield. I'll turn over to these fine gentlemen.
I'd like to turn this over to you to help cover the cost for your drone.
Thank you both
Gotcha.
very
You're
much.
very
Not
welcome.
a problem, not a problem.
All of your help.
It was an easy task.
It's amazing. You guys really pulled through. Everybody that donated really pulled through. We're so happy that we could do this and present you guys with the rest of the funds for your drone. So
Well, thank you very much. It's much appreciated. And we'll put it to good use to keep the community safer.
And we talk about this drone, guys. I know you guys have had a lot of conversations about it. What are some of the initial uses that you plan on using it here in the Marshfield Police Department?
I think you're a good one to talk to that. We'll have special response team applications. We'll have missing person applications. So maybe if you want to talk a little bit about the special response team.
Yeah, with our special response team, we're always looking for ways to gather intel, and sometimes prior to us executing warrants or whatever it is that we might be called to do, it gives us an opportunity just to provide more safety to the officers and everybody involved if we can just get eyes on something prior to. So, but probably a more primary function, like Assistant Chief Zeps had mentioned, is missing persons. We deal with that quite frequently, and whether that's an elderly person with Alzheimer's or a small child, it's going to be extremely beneficial for stuff like that.
Now, this winter, Wisconsin weathers definitely gave us some brutal temperatures, and there was a number of chases that kind of went on foot patrol. Do you see the drone playing a role in that, trying to locate those individuals or cut down the amount of time that you guys are exposed to some of the elements of Wisconsin's weather?
I do, and in that particular situation, I think a drone would have been invaluable, not only to find the individuals because of what they had done or were suspected of doing, but also for their own safety. They were out there in conditions that extremely hazardous, so oftentimes people forget that we do have the suspect's well-being in mind also, and I think this would have been invaluable in that situation.
And you guys mentioned finding missing people. We had a situation a number of years ago where someone ventured out of their car after their vehicle broke down, and they end up, you guys found them unfortunately deceased in a field within the city limits during a pretty bad snowstorm. So I'm excited. When do you guys think you'll have this drone in play, and is there any additional training that you guys might need to go through?
That's a better question for...
Yeah, absolutely. There'll be some training. It's an ever-changing field, and we absolutely need to know the limitations of what we can do with it, because the last thing we want to do is encroach on somebody's rights, misuse this thing so that the public starts to be wary of it. Our intention is purely positive. So I think from our standpoint, there'll be some training as far as the legal applications that we can use it for. I'd like to get more people on the department trained than not. The incident you brought up with the pursuit, the practicality of calling somebody in who can run this drone is going to cost us time, so the more people that know how to use it, know the applications, that's going to save us time and benefit to the community and everybody else.
And for those that are not aware, Marshfield is in the state of Wisconsin, and the state of Wisconsin is pioneering the drone industry with the Wisconsin Drone Network that's being ran in the Madison area, and there's a lot of support out there for there. Wood County has a drone. Many departments are taking on those apparatuses. Any additional comments from those that kind of brought this or made this happen as we continue to believe in our community?
Just thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for what you do. Keep it going.
Yes,
Reach out every year. We'd be more than willing to help. So.
absolutely. Salute to a soldier.
Sounds good. I'm Brandon Boner for continuing to bring in the coverage that matters most to you here at Marshfield's PD as they make the opportunity of a lifetime and hopefully one that'll save many in the future. Stay tuned for more coverage as we continue to coverage the stories that matter most to you.